Oh, hey, come on in. Welcome back to my kitchen. It's Katie here, and today we have a vegetarian option for y'all. It is going to be crispy rice with a nice teriyaki tofu. We have avocado on top and then a spicy mayo. It is one of my favorites, and if you guys know me, you know I do not eat seafood. So when I go to a restaurant, I order crispy rice with avocado, and sometimes they have this crunchy, amazing spicy mayo tofu on top. And so I kind of wanted to recreate it from one of my favorite restaurants. And even Lane loves this. So if you're not vegetarian and you do not cook with tofu, let me show you how. First and foremost, I just wanted to come over here and tell you what is happening. So if you've never cooked with tofu before, this extra step goes a long way to make it crispy. So what I have here is a nice heavy cutting board. The super firm tofu has been under here for, I would say, 20 minutes. I would say minimum leave it under there for 15. I have some paper towels, and look how soaking wet these paper towels are, because I just made sure the tofu was soaking all the water out. And from there, again, it's gonna really help crispify that. So that is ready to go right there, and do not skip that step. Another thing I did is prep some rice. Now this is the day old prepped rice. I made the rice last night, and then I just tossed in a tiny bit of rice wine vinegar. Now, if you guys do go to a restaurant and you order crispy rice, odds are the crispy rice has a little bit of sugar in it. I actually skipped the sugar a step because, again, we are healthy here at Come On In. So basically, I just cooked the rice, added a little bit of rice wine vinegar, and then I took a small baking tray and I pressed down with my hands and left this in the refrigerator overnight. Now the fun begins, and I'm kind of nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I have made this crispy rice probably 8 times in my life, and it works out every time so well. But of course, for some reason, every time I do it on a camera, maybe it doesn't work out as well, so let's see. So basically, it's been in the refrigerator, so it's nice and dense, and it's easier to cut into squares for that crispy rice. So I'm just gonna lay this rice onto the cutting board so I can cut on up. Perfect. Oh, I love when it works. I was literally so worried about that, you guys. Gorgeous, gorgeous crispy rice ready to go. Now you guys can actually make this as a whole crispy rice pancake. No, I'm just kidding. So what I'm gonna do is just cut it into those crispy rice shapes. And it's easier to cut like this because, again, it's nice and dense since I refrigerated it overnight. All right, now that we have our crispy rice ready to go, I'm also a timing nut, so I wanna prep the tofu, and so the crispy rice and the tofu go in at the same time. What I did is just slice the tofu right there in half. Again, soaked out the excess water, so it's now super, super firm. By the way, at this stage of the tofu, it's still a little tender, so you wanna be careful when you toss it. We're gonna toss it with a little flour so it crisps up, but you still wanna be careful because it can break pretty easily. Lightly coat it in some flour. You know what works really well in this is a starch. Sometimes I use a potato starch or corn starch, but flour works perfectly fine. And again, the tofu can crack really easily, so I just kind of give it a nice little shake. Just like that. It's ready to go. Shall we go to the stove? I have a mixture of some avocado oil and sesame oil in both the pans. I made sure that they're nice and hot. And now, time to throw in this crispy rice. Be careful, the oil is hot. All right, then toss in the tofu. Sometimes the tofu gets stuck together because of that flour, so just make sure it's separated. Now, while that's frying up, let's make the spicy mayo. So what I do is about 3 parts mayo, I would say, to 1 part sriracha, and then a tiny bit of that sesame oil again. And that's how you know I like mayo, because we are done with it over here in the Armstrong household. I was gonna say the Austin household. I do love mayo, but I don't love the way it smells sometimes. We got the mayo in here, just a little bit of sriracha. You guys can also keep adding sriracha to your spice liking. And then just a few drops of sesame oil. You guys have ever been to a Hillstone restaurant? You can really taste their sesame oil and the spicy mayo. That's where I got this idea. That's it, 3 ingredients. And just like that, we have the spicy mayo to top it off with. All right, back to the frying board. Now come on over here, put some of these bad boys. And it's looking like the tofu is almost ready as well. Yum. Oh, it's so crispy. Now I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of teriyaki sauce to the tofu just to glaze it. It's nice and crispy on the outside, and just a little goes a long way. Oh my gosh, you need to come in and see this. Look at that crispy level. Oh my goodness. Gonna turn this off. The tofu is already set aside and ready to go. I'm just gonna put it first on a paper towel to just try to soak some of that excess oil off. Oh, it's still frying back there. All right, so we got our crispy rice base. We got our teriyaki tofu. I mean, gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 girls. A piece of the crispy rice fell off. So freaking good. And then from there, it's super easy. You just take a piece of nice crispy teriyaki tofu, put it right on top. Honestly, in some of these, I might do two, because that's gorgeous. I mean, the big boy for this big boy. I'm gonna take a little bit of avocado here. Get a nice avocado slice on top. Take each one. I mean, who needs to go to a sushi restaurant when you have this right at home? My husband's answer is we're still going out for sushi because I don't cook seafood. Last but not least, let's add that spicy mayo. I'm just gonna kind of drizzle it on top. A little goes a long way. Would you look at that? And then a little bit of soy sauce for dipping. And because I don't have chopsticks, I'm gonna use my hands, so I'm sorry in advance. Let's taste test. We have the most beautiful crispy rice, tofu avocado. Are you kidding me? All right, here we go. It's like you're supposed to eat it in one bite, but I just couldn't fit it. Damn, oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Some of my best work yet. You guys have to try this, truly. I know I say that a lot of recipes. Please try this. Also, it's just fun. It's fun to get creative in the kitchen and try things that maybe your favorite restaurant has. So make sure you try this crispy rice, crispy tofu teriyaki, avocado, spicy mayo on top. You guys will absolutely love it. And I will see you next week for a new episode of Come On In. Bye, guys.